What's up, Internet? Jada Gray Saiyan here. Welcome to the Inside the Head of a Saiyan podcast where you can crack open my skull, play Operation with my brain, and find out what goes on in my head. Thank you for listening to my podcast on YouTube. This is the first episode, and I'm so excited to do this podcast. Please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and also just comment what was your favorite part about this podcast, and let me know if there's anything that you didn't like or I'm very open to criticism, so just let me know what you like, what you didn't like, and we can keep moving forward. You know what I'm saying? So before I get started with the podcast, I want to tell you guys the free games that I found for the month of February. So I'm doing Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. So on Xbox, the free games for the month of February are Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse, and then Hydrophobia. For PlayStation, the free games are EA Sports UFC 4. So if you like to box it out, go ahead buy that. Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, a Wonderland's one-shot adventure. Sounds pretty interesting. And the third and final one is Planet Coaster Console Edition, and that is actually a PS5 bonus game. So that might be dope to play. All y'all that secure the PS5, make it do what it do. And then I have one game on PC via the Epic Game Store, and that's gonna be Damon Ex Machina. I've never had a chance to play it, but I got it in my library through the Epic Game Store. So now I'm gonna play it, and we're gonna see what it's talking about. What it's talking about. The first topic that I have on my show notes to talk about today is like why I've been MIA for what? Probably like 6 months. Yeah, 6 months or so. Yeah, I'll say that about 6 months. Um, so when I was, for those of you who have been, or for those of you who this is like you just clicked this video because it just showed up for some reason on your page, on your subscription page, or whatever. Um, I started streaming on Twitch like no, actually, it's been over a year. I just realized that. Crazy. I started streaming on Twitch probably in 2020, about late summer, I would say. Late summer of 2020, I started streaming on Twitch. When I was streaming on Twitch, I was doing pretty good. I was pretty consistent. I started gaining like kind of like a following. Started building like started the small uh the small beginnings of a community, and I came to a crossroad through while I was streaming. I saw that I was doing really good with streaming on Twitch. People were telling me, yo, you're doing so good. This is so cool. This is so dope. Keep doing it. I love this shit. I was like, cool. Um, I came to a crossroad because then I would look over and I would see that I have like 15 assignments due in my classes. And I was like, so I could focus on my classes and graduate, or I could stream. And I chose I chose college. I chose college. There are times I missed it. There were a lot of times I just missed getting on the game and just vibing and talking to different people from all over the world, honestly. But it was all worth it because your boy got that degree. Your boy got that degree, so it's good vibes all around. But I definitely want to get back into pumping out content. I want to get back out there in the content creative world. I've still kind of been there. I just been like watching people that I follow on Twitch and stuff. I've been still kind of like in like the circles that I was in. I'm still like a part of those conversations a little bit, but I feel like I just really have like fell off and just I just went MIA to be honest with you. And so I went MIA because I wanted to focus on my school, and now that I graduated, I want to start putting out consistent content again. I don't know when I'll stream again on Twitch. I might stream whenever, man. Right now, I'm just trying to secure that bag. Get that job, make it do what it do. I'm just doing everything I can, honestly, at this point. But that is basically what happened as to why I stopped streaming. It was nothing like bad or anything. I just decided that school was more important to me. School was more important to me, and my getting my degree above all else was more important. Like I didn't want to drop out of school and no shit like that. And so that's what I chose. And I'm not knocking anyone did that did the latter, like that chose streaming over school. I mean, that's fine because a lot I've seen some people that have done that, and they do really dope. They do really good. They're able to focus all of their energy onto the thing that they love doing, and that's dope. I did not love college. Well, no, actually, I didn't love a lot of things about college, but there were things I really liked about college. Like I really liked I really liked the freedom that I got. I really liked um I really liked the fun I had in college. I did. I enjoyed the fun a lot in college. I did not like going to class. I did not like going to class. I do love learning, but I did not like going to class. Whew, stress. Oh man, my s- I could go on and on about that stress, man. Like I just that stress was just terrible, dog. This shit was terrible. But college is not for everyone. It's a grind. It is definitely a grind in and of itself. Would I do it again? Ah, honestly, I don't know. I honestly don't know. If I was to go back, I definitely would have done stuff a little differently. I did join a fraternity, so shout out to all my Sigmas out there. So that was really great. That was dope. I love being a part of a fraternity. Well, I'm not saying in the past tense because I'm still part of it, but I love being a part of a fraternity. I love like my brothers, and that is dope. It's dope. Definitely dope. But anyway, that's why I've been MIA. Sorry, I got off on a little tangent there. That's how my brain works. But this is inside this head of a Saiyan podcast, so you know that's just how it is. So that's how it is. So that was that. If you guys have any questions about college or like what was it like trying to balance college and streaming, I know a little bit about that. Like I probably did it for like a month, a month and a half. So like I kind of know a little bit about it, but not like a lot. But I'll definitely be able. I'll try to help out if I can, whenever I can. So just feel free to comment and ask me any questions. But the next topic that I have is actually Microsoft. If there are people out there that just are just off the grid or like live under a rock and literally just don't pay attention to any type of news at all. Microsoft announced that they would be attempting to acquire Activision. And Activision, for those of you that don't know, Activision is the company that makes Call of Duty, that made well, it's Activision Blizzard. So not only do they get Call of Duty, but they also get World of Warcraft, they get Candy Crush, they get well actually let's look up the list. Let's look up the list of Activision Blizzard games. Cause it's a lot of games, and these aren't even games like some of these games they don't even like do anymore, but like they're still relevant. So if you go to Wikipedia here, this is my Wikipedia. So among major intellectual properties produced by Activision Blizzard are Call of Duty, Crash Bandicoot. That was not a PS exclusive. That was just Activision. Activision made it, and then it was on PlayStation. So that's actually interesting. Guitar Hero, Tony Hawk's, Spyro, Skylanders, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Diablo, Hearthstone, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, and the Candy Crush Saga. Like that is a lot of games that Microsoft could potentially now own whenever like the deal is finalized, which would probably be about like 18 months, I think. I read somewhere. But so they announced that acquisition like last month. And honestly, that acquisition that's a huge thing for the gaming industry. It's super big, and I don't think a lot of people I think a lot of people don't understand just how crazy that this deal is if it goes through. Like Microsoft would basically, I think they would become the third largest developer of games with just this acquisition alone. And like Call of Duty is constantly at number one in terms of revenue. So like that's crazy to think that Microsoft could potentially own all of these games and maximize getting their revenue and being under the Microsoft umbrella. And I say potentially because this recently came out, and by recent I mean like literally like I think yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. So, the FTC, and for those of you that don't know, the FTC is short for the U.S. Federal Trade Commission. They are set to review Microsoft's deal to buy Activision Blizzard. So let's look at this article a little bit. So, according to this article, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission will undertake an antitrust review of Microsoft's proposed acquisition of scandal-plagued video game giant Activision Blizzard, and that was reported by Bloomberg on yesterday. So, this was an all-cash deal, valued at over $68 billion, which is that's just a crazy number to think about in and of itself. Like that's just a wild number that Microsoft just threw out there to buy this. And the deal is expected to close within the next 18 months, and this would make Microsoft the world's third largest video game maker and give it control of popular franchises, including the war simulation series Call of Duty and the fantasy behemoth World of Warcraft. Now, that's interesting to say because, Call of Duty for years has always been multiplayer. But if this deal goes through, this means that Microsoft 100% could say this is an Xbox exclusive, and the only way you can access this is if you have Xbox Game Pass. And if that were the case, that would be crazy. Like, just imagine a world where if you don't have Xbox Game Pass, you could not play Call of Duty. Or I should say, if you don't have Xbox Live, you cannot play Call of Duty. Like that's crazy. Like you can play it at all. That's wild to think. Do I think that Microsoft would do that? Not immediately, because it has such a cult following. I do think they'll slowly start transitioning and um, giving people more and more incentive to buy Xboxes instead of PlayStations because this makes it's just more valuable to get an Xbox at that point because with Game Pass you could probably more than likely will get the new Call of Duty day one plus all of the Activision Blizzard games that you know and love, like all of the old ones. If you have some nostalgia, you could 100% expect them to put that on Game Pass. Like that's just crazy to think. That really is crazy to think. Um, And so the FTC says they will reportedly oversee the review instead of the Department of Justice, which also has authority over antitrust enforcement. And the review will look at whether combining Microsoft, which makes Xbox consoles, and Activision Blizzard could harm competition by limiting rivals' access to major games, according to Bloomberg. So why are they doing this? So for those of you that don't know, there is a set of rules that all businesses have to follow. Basically, the Federal Trade Commission is there to make sure like no monopolies are being created. Monopolies basically, if you have a monopoly, you're basically making it to where there is no room for competition, and it's either your way or the highway. That's in a way to put it in simple in to put it in layman's terms. I think that's as simple as I can break it down. Um, that's interesting to think because that was immediately what I thought of when I read the article when I found out that Microsoft was buying Activision at first. That was immediately what I thought was, is this borderline a monopoly? And I think no. I think no because it's not like there are hundreds of game developers out there. And to me, this opens the door for another lesser known company to kind of step in even as an independent company and try to make something that's revolutionary or something that's very innovative and like rise to where Activision Blizzard was standalone by itself before it was acquired by before it was acquired by Microsoft. I don't think this is making a monopoly now. If Microsoft would have bought Activision Blizzard and like let's say what's another one? If they were to buy Activision Blizzard and let's say like the company that makes Battlefield, Dice, I think then you could argue that, but I think there still will be room for competition to I think there still will be room for competition to like have access to these major games. I don't think Microsoft will just immediately cut and make everything an exclusive. I think further down the line they would, but not immediately. It To me that would be too much money they would lose. But I'm not a business major. Well, I'm not a like uh business transactions like this aren't what I majored in, so like I can't say for certain. Like I'm not an expert. I'm 100% not an expert. This is just my honest opinion. Uh, so that's interesting enough. But another thing that happened, and this was also recent, is decided. Sony basically said, "Hold my beer," and was like, "All right, we're gonna acquire Bungie for 3.6 billion." Bungie, for those of you that don't know, Bungie is the gaming company that created Destiny, and they were the original creators of Halo before 343 took over. Um, this is an interesting deal to me as well too, because if you look at according to the CEO of PlayStation, he says, I'm trying to find it. Give me 1 second, because I just read it. Yes, in the official PlayStation blog post, Ryan begins by confirming Bungie's independence. He says, and I quote, "I want to be very clear to the community that Bungie will remain an independent and multi-platform studio and publisher," which is interesting because what's the point of buying a gaming developing company and you still plan to give to your competition? If the objective is to make as much money as possible, why is that? Why is that your attitude towards this? Now, if their objective is to not make as much money as possible, which I seriously doubt, uh, but if that's not their objective, then what is their main objective? I would definitely ask that question because is if their objective is to create, to me, like this deal further confirms to me that PlayStation wants to get into the PC. They want to get into the PC marketplace, and they're being strategic with it. Because at first they started putting some of their exclusives on PC, like they put God of War on PC. That's been at the top. I mean, I think literally since it dropped. Like that's on my wish list too. I think they also put Horizon Zero Dawn on there, or I think they will, like pretty soon. But like, if I think that's PlayStation's end game. They want to get into the PC marketplace because if they get into the PC marketplace, they're tapping into a whole new market, and in that market, they'll be able to make even more money than what they're making now. Because the old way of gaming to me is dead. Like the whole console war thing, the whole console war like theme to me is dying because it's becoming more like crossplay is becoming more and more the norm. Like having multiplayer is becoming more and more the norm. Single player IPs are very far and few in between nowadays. So I don't think I don't think companies would. Well, hold on. I don't think it would be wise to continue to try to promote that you have all these exclusives when you see other companies moving more towards, hey, you can play these games with your friends on PlayStation, or you can play these games with your friends on PC. All you have to do is just buy this game, get Game Pass, and you have access to all of it. Bing, bang, boom. Like you're losing money at that point, just focusing on the exclusivity of it. But this is still an interesting buy to me because Bungie did say in this article that that Bungie's working on a new IP, and we don't know what that new IP is. So, like, it makes me wonder, like, what is this new IP? Sorry, my mic died. Sorry about that. But to me, it makes me wonder, like, what is this new IP that basically made Sony say, all right, we're gonna acquire Bungie because of this. Because for those of you, for those of you that don't know, I'm sure there's a lot of you that do, but for those of you that don't know, just because they announce these doesn't mean that this just happened like the day before. Like no, this mean to me like this article was updated February 1st. So I would say Sony was probably conversating with Bungie probably like November. Yeah, November. It was definitely last fall, at least, when they were conversating with Bungie about acquiring them. Like this is just when it was announced, And even with this announcement, it's still going to take them at least a year for everything to be fully transitioned over. Should this deal go through? But I mean, that's very interesting. Like I think the next 3 to 5 years of gaming are going to be very interesting because also another thing. Hold on. It takes two. Yeah, because I think. Hold on. No, I don't like that article. Uh, we gonna do CNBC? Yeah. So this kind of happened around the same time as the Activision Blizzard deal, but it was the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal, but it was so big that it actually didn't get a lot of it didn't make the top headlines as much. But Take Two Interactive said that it would buy Zynga for 12.7 billion, which that's also a pretty interesting deal because for those of you that don't know, Zynga they're the creators of Farmville. So, and I've definitely played Farmville before, and that's a really fun game to play. I like kind of simulated games like that where you can simulate like doing your own business or doing your own like basically building your own revenue type stuff. I've always liked games like that. So this is also an interesting buy, which makes me wonder like what uh what these games like. Let's see what games Zynga has to offer besides Farmville, because I'm sure they've made like other games. Um, let's see. You got Farmville, you got poker. Um, okay, so yeah, these are a lot of mobile games. These are a lot of mobile games, but this is a lot of mobile games that Take Two Interactive will add to their gallery on top of the games they already have, which is GTA 4, um, Hades, which that game's gotten a lot of great reviews. The Outer Worlds, Um, interesting. So all the old Grand Theft Autos, Max Payne's, BioShock. Interesting. Interesting. So this is an interesting take. That's very interesting to think about. Um, so yeah, that's interesting. So that makes me, yeah, I'll definitely say like 3 to 5 years from now, like gaming's gonna look totally different. Like the status of gaming is gonna completely change. Like, and I'm here for it. I'm super excited. Uh, some games I'm currently playing. Well, I'm gonna move on actually. Let me let y'all know that. My bad. Uh, Move on, but I'm kind of going backwards because I forgot to mention like what games I'm currently playing. Currently, I'm playing the Mass Effect Definitive Edition. I actually get that for free with Game Pass. So I've always wanted to play Mass Effect, but I was never able to growing up. So I'm currently playing Mass Effect 1, and let me tell you, my favorite game of all time is Fallout New Vegas, and this game, like, I really love the detail in this game. Like, the how your decision, each decision you make in that game, based on what I played so far, matters. Like, and I really love that. I do. Like, it's the little things. It's the little things about gaming that make a game go from a 9.5 to a 10 out of 10. It's the little. It's always the little things. I guarantee you. I guarantee you that. Um, but that's like my main game plan. I casually play like Call of Duty. I casually play Zombies or Warzone with my friends. I casually play. I used to casually play Apex, but I uninstalled it because I need the space. But I casually play a lot of lesser known games as well too. Like if you go to like my Epic Game Store, like I got like so many. Like I was recently playing Layers of Fear 2, which this is my first time playing a horror game. It's kind of interesting. I was never really into it. I played that game. That game's kind of dope. It reminds me a lot of SimCity, and I really liked SimCity growing up. Uh, I've played Road Company. I've played Fortnite. I've played Darkest Dungeon. That was interesting. But all these games here, like I plan on playing at some point. So yeah, you can definitely catch me on stream playing some of these games, like, cause a lot of these games they were free on the Epic Game Store. Every day they got a free game. I'm always there hopping on it. You feel me? So, but yeah, this is gonna be a short podcast. Like I said, this is my first one, so I'm gonna go ahead and head to my conclusion. Uh, so for as first part of my conclusion, I want to mention mental health. Mental health is super, super important. If you ever feel like you're stressed or if you ever feel like you're just too overwhelmed, just make sure to prioritize your mental health. Take a nap, relax, eat some food, go outside, go for a walk, man. Like smell the flowers. Like you will be so surprised at how much just going outside and going for a walk will like just like release like endorphins in you and just like relax you, like I remember like when I was just really stressed out while I was still in college, and I just went outside and I went for a walk. I walked from like my apartment. I walked from there to like uh I think I walked to the college actually because I didn't live that far from the college. Um and it was just really relaxing. Or I would go to the park here located in my city, and I'll just go for a walk, and that did numbers. That did wonders. But mental health is super important. If you guys ever just need someone to talk to, feel free to reach out to me. I might not be able to help a lot, but sometimes you just need someone to like listen. Like sometimes you just need someone to be a listening ear to you and just tell you it's gonna be okay. Like I know, like that sounds like a real cliche, but it's gonna be okay. It is. And if you need a reason, let me be that reason, and I got you. But also, I want to give a shout out to all my black content creators, to all my black streamers out there. It is Black History Month, so happy Black History Month to everyone. I encourage you to every day this month just look up an interesting fact about African Americans, the community, or like U.S. American history involving African Americans. I guarantee you'll learn something new every day, and I guarantee your mind will be blown. And I strongly recommend doing that. It's extremely eye opening. But that concludes the podcast. If you like what you hear, make sure to like and comment your favorite part of the podcast. Feel free to ask me any questions, and I will make sure to answer as many of them as I can on my next podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, this is Jay the Gray saying. My bad, my bad, my bad. This is Jay the Gray saying signing off. Peace.